Good morning. It is time for Coffee Talk. It's Sunday. I've got my coffee. Now, I've actually found another coffee mug, but the problem with this coffee mug is, can we go into a tangent right away? Because that's what we're going to do. So, first of all, it's little, right? Look how little. It's like a teacup. I don't even. So, this was from the 95th. It's old. It's so old, in fact, it's still got senior pilot wings instead of command pilot wings on it. But it's tiny, and I don't think this was a good Snacko. Whatever Snacko did this, sorry, man. But you got a teacup for, all right, this is nice for tea, but a coffee cup, now it doesn't need to be beer mug size. I don't need a Stein, but I need the large coffee cup, not the little cute, and this got weird angles. It's not, I don't know. The problem with the small coffee cup is it forced me to make a small cup of coffee instead of my large cup of coffee. And I'm already on cup number 2 because I got through the small cup while I was doing the research. See what's happening here? This is, so on the one hand, karma, thank you for, was it karma? No, not really karma. That doesn't fit. Serendipity? I don't know. Whatever it was that helped me find a new coffee mug. Remember, because I dropped my other ones and I only had one left. Thank you, but it would have been nice if it was a large one. And the reason I didn't have it out is because it's little, number one, and number two, it was hidden all the way in the back of my liquor cabinet, which was an interesting place to put a coffee mug. So I'm not really sure how all that went down. Anyway, it's Sunday, and we're going to talk about tanks eventually. We'll get there. So here we go. Let's talk about tanks. Okay, we are going to do the standard stuff. We got channel news, missions, and specials. Subjects du jour, some interesting things are afoot. We have a DMCA or DCMA. I'll have to look at that. I think I might have written it down wrong. A takedown by Wargaming. Interesting. A chat with Victor K. So we're going to look at a, chat with Victor K. I was trying to look for the word. Whatever, it'll come to me later. Chat with Victor K. And then the TS5 winner, I will announce that at the end. And yes, I am doing that this time. So you can just grab that little scroll thing. I'm probably doing it the wrong way. On your screen, it'll go like this. Just grab it with your mouse and slide it to the back. Or just watch the whole thing and we'll eventually get there. Maybe I'll trick you and put it in the middle. And now, so you're already gone. They already left. They're already sliding the scroll thing over so they can find who. Anyway, where were we? Let's move on. We're going to go to channel news. Okay, channel news. So what are we doing? Stream possibly, I wrote down Wednesday the 26th, but that is incorrect. It will be Friday. Next week on Friday. Should be my day off. I should be able to do some streaming on that day. So expect that. It will be as I can before then. The TS5 winner already talked about. We'll talk about that at the end. The invite code I talked about last week, got a great suggestion from somebody, which then got me thinking about another section we'll do later, which I'll talk about when we get there. But I'm going to change it to the Ram 2 because he made a good point. The early tanks are all lights and mediums anyway. And the Ram 2 is a pretty dang good little tank. Now, because my idea is with my invite code is to get people to try the game with the invite code. That's what it is, an invite code. But give them, some premium, a premium tank they can use, and some reserves. I figured a heavy tank would be a little easier to play, which is kind of why I was leaning towards the T14. But it does take you a while to grind through before you get to a heavy tank, and I think the T14 and the Ram 2 both require a bit of gold, so I guess that doesn't really help on either one of those things. And I figured that a new player would be more leaning towards heavy tanks anyway, but he made a good point. A lot of my content, and as I look at it, I play every class, but really a lot of my content is mediums and lights is kind of where I concentrate. How natural was that sip until I rammed it into the wall of my desk, right? So anyway, I've changed it to a Ram 2, 3 days of premium, 800 gold, and 2 each of 1 hour boosters. I don't remember the exact percentages, but credits, crew experience, and experience. So I think that'll be a cool little invite code. And that way, when you guys all start your second and third accounts, you'll have a code. I didn't say that. Actually, that's fine. You can actually do that. Multiple accounts is not against the TOS, by the way, just so you know. You're not supposed to collude and do other stuff with it, cheat to get around missions and other things. However, it doesn't matter if you have multiple accounts. It really doesn't. Okay, last things last. You can see that I've got Frontline rolling around here. I'm going to slide this dude over this way. And then I'll put that down. I played only Tech Tree tanks. I am going to make an entirely separate video about that, so we won't really talk about the entirety of my thoughts on it. I will discuss where I did get to. I'm still going to play a little bit today. Today's Easter, by the way. Happy Easter. I failed to say that early on. I should have bunny ears on or something silly, but whatever. I don't really do that kind of stuff, so. I'm like your grumpy old man World of Tanks content creator, right? I'm not gonna wear hats. I'm not gonna have cute things going across on the stream. Maybe if I did, I'd have more viewers. These are decisions we make in our lives, fellas and ladies. If there happens to be any out there watching this, where was I exactly? Drinking coffee, talking about tanks. Yes, front lines. What the heck? All right, front line. So let's click on this and see where Guido got to on front lines. Looks like right now tier 13 and I am prestige 3. So I'm on track. There's going to be 10 episodes. Episode 3 ends in 20 hours. That's today, Sunday. Over on Monday, and then in May we'll have another episode, episode 4. There are 10 episodes. There are 10 prestiges. I keep getting confused between tier and prestige. 10 prestige points, and if you get to, remember, you need 15 of these tokens to get this tank. And I believe how it works is you can get 27 tokens total, which means you can get both of the top tanks if you go through all 10 prestige levels and collect all 27 of these. Now the way you do that is because, where is this thing? Can you do it from here? Yeah, here we go. Is because you will get multiple of these tokens depending on which prestige you unlock. You can see that I've got 5. 1, 2. See that 2? 3, 4, 5. 7. This is going to be hard. I'm doing math in public. 9, 11, 14. See how it gets increases towards you get to the end? Towards you get to the end. 17. 21. Remember what I said it was? 27. Voila. That's French. It means yo. Check it out. Anywho, if I close this, do I go all? Yes, I do. So that's where I have done, got to, is Prestige 3, 13. I'll probably a few more. I started at 18, Prestige 2, 18. The first episode I went through 1 Prestige and up to 18 tiers of the second Prestige, and so I have been basically doing 1 Prestige level for each episode. That's going to give me a little extra to do for the tier 10 one, unless I somewhere in the middle do a little bit extra, which is kind of my plan. I'd like to get a little bit ahead. You can only be two prestige levels ahead of the week you're on. For example, if it's week or it's episode 3, not week, episode, you could be at 5 prestige at the end of this. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot on that mess, and that is where I RB. Let's see, where are we going from here? That's my flight line, front line results so far. Hey, missions and specials. Let's go get our shill on. All right, the birds are going crazy out there, man. We have no trees, but we got a lot of birds. I think we always had a lot of birds. You just couldn't see them as much with all the trees, but they're everywhere. Random tangent. There you go. What can we buy? What can we buy? Here's an interesting one. I think it's on this. I'm going to have to wait. Oh, there it is. No, it's not. There it is. All right, found it. Found it. 7 days of the Suma. You can buy a rental for $5. Has that existed? Did I miss that? Is that connected to Frontline? I'm not 100% certain. This is a suggestion that I made to them, and I'm certain plenty of people have made to Wargaming. But mine actually had an extra level. It was, why don't you bundle some of your 7 day and 3 day premiums with a tier 8 or tier 6 or tier 7 rental that just comes with the premium day so people can get a little taste of it. But this is probably more connected with Frontline than anything. But it is a rental, so for $5, the problem is you don't get anything but the rental, right? I don't know. I wonder how many of those they sold. I will never know because they won't tell me. But I can wonder, right? Can I not wonder? I am wondering. What else is for sale? We've got the featured items, a gold pack, some other gold messing around. The mutants for sale again, only for a day left. So if you want the mutant M6, then now is the time. Remember the tank they said they'd never sell? Yeah, that one. The 4190, good tank. 1357, very good tank. Comes along with some premium some premium times. It was good, old timey times. It was good times. We've got the FV. This is the fire and ice thing that they've got going on. The FV, the Type 62. That's pretty good. The Type 62 is fantastic. That's a fun tank. I don't know if you're a TD guy, you might like that. It's actually better than I thought it would be, but it's a TD. It does have a turret. That's a good thing. Kind of stealthy. There are better tier 7 TDs, premium TDs. The 122, 44, and the E25 both come to mind. But for the collectors and people who just like German tanks, that's a good one. Good one. Average one. I'll put it. It's balanced. Holy macaroni! Do not buy that bad tank because it's balanced. Is that where we are? I think that is where we are. That is largely where we are. Let's get mad at balanced tanks because they're not overpowered. And then let's complain about overpowered premium tanks. All right, there's a war chest. What else? What else? We're going to go to gold. Come on, we're getting our shilling. I haven't really been pushing it very well here, have I? I'm not going to get my check this month. If I don't get some of you guys to buy some stuff. Let's see. It doesn't work that way, by the way. Just remember that 95% of the things that come out my mouth are sarcasm. And the other 5% are the complete truth, and you should know. Nothing going on there. Vehicles, what else? Feeling like a kind of lazy morning. It's Easter morning, right? This is the lazy, low effort Monday morning coffee talk. We're really just gonna hang around and BS. Hang around and BS. I had a nice cigar last night. Nice cigar. And margaritas, which is kind of a strange pairing, but I guess if you're thinking like island life, not that I'm living on an island, but that's what you do, right? You have a margarita and a cigar, hang out outside. It was nice weather. It wasn't too hot. Slight breeze. Really nice. It's a good cigar, man. Hand rolled. Really good. All right, where were we? Shilling. That's right, shilling. That's right. All right, get your wallets out. Here we go. Some of the same vehicles. The ELC, or the Even 90. It is ELC. ELC Even 90. That is a fun little tank. I would recommend that one. If you like light tanks and silly tanks, that's not a wheeled tank, but still pretty fun. The ELC Even 90. Quirky, not easy to use, but lots of fun. Another relatively balanced premium tank. Ooh, yeah, stay away from the balanced ones. Do not buy the T25 Pilot because it's a balanced tank. You want overpowered tanks. That's all you want. The Mutant, lots of versions. And we get into that. All right, so let's see if we have any specials that are different from featured. They should have another tab called Featured Specials. You know what I mean? These are our featured specials. Here's our featured tanks. Here's our specials. Actually, it's not even featured tank. Here's our featured sales items. Here's our specials. And then here's our featured specials. Its own class of special featured. Let's see. Nothing really to add here. It's all the same stuff. All right. Like I said, it was low effort Low effort. Let's go to missions and specials. Missions and specials. Let's see here. Unfortunately, the codes appear to still be around. There's the fire and ice code. Make sure you put that in there. In fact, I may have to go back to that because I missed that, didn't I? What do we got? There it is. Fire and ice. Win a battle. Starts on Sunday, April 14th. Goes to May 3rd. I haven't done it yet, but I've played a lot of Frontline. So it would appear that this is pubs only. Does it say that? No. It does not. So you just need to do it once. Pick fire, pick ice. I picked fire. Or you can wait and see which one's winning. You can play that game as well. Tournament missions. It is a 1.5 XP mission. I don't think I've done any of these. I'm pretty sure it's not working for Frontline. If it is good, I don't think it is. If it isn't, why? I mean, that's what people are going to be doing all week and weekend, right? They're all piling into Frontline. Now, there are still pubs being played. I saw some streamers are actually playing pubs. A lot of people don't like Frontline. I got it. All that good stuff. We'll talk about that later. That's kind of annoying, though, right? That you have to pick the mode that you get the bonus on. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it is because I'm playing Frontline and I'm whining about not getting a 1.5. Maybe it really just doesn't matter. For me, it really doesn't because I have so many tanks and crews. But for grinding people, it might matter. Player tank class right, we got that, the 110E4. This got to be almost done. It is almost done. So the 110E4 will be done this week, and then other missions. So we're not a whole lot going on for missions. We're actually going to go back over to, if I can pull this off. Yes, I can. And we will get back this away. Let's do it the easy way. We're going to do it the easy way. Look at this. Always dangerous to change pages while you're recording because you never know what's going to hiccup or happen right in there. Might take like 4 minutes to load or some crazy thing. This is what I wanted to talk about though. We have the Swedish 4 coming up. All right, so this one appears to not need a code. All right, just watch for it. It should kick off on Monday. It is going from the 22nd, Monday, and it doesn't say it up here in the red. You got to come down here to find the end date. All right, so it goes from the 22nd to the 29th. Okay, to the 29th and 22nd to the 29th and that's a week. Got 7 days. 7 days to do this. You're going to earn a skilled Swedish crew, which is getting ready for the release of, I think it's 1.5, which is going to bring in the Swedish mediums. So it's sort of convoluted, but not really. It took me a few minutes, as with most of these things. And I suppose if you're going to have a mission that builds on other missions, it does require a little bit of investigation to figure that thing out. Going full Grizzly Adams right now, by the way. Full Grizzly Adams. You know, that reminds me of something. As you get older, your cultural references get older. And when you start talking to young people and you're using movie quotes or cultural references, sometimes you get that blank stare. You know, Grizzly Adams is a good example. You'd have to be my age or slightly younger to know Grizzly Adams. You know, if you're talking to an 18-year-old, you say, I got the Grizzly Adams going on, they're going to be going, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that the name of a bear or somewhere? I mean, what's going on with that? I teach a class. I teach several classes, but one of them is GeoRefs, which is maps, talking about lat longs and other various mapping systems. And one of the things we talk about is latitude and which way the lines run and which way it measures. Happens to be north-south, right? Latitude. One of the references I use is Jimmy Buffett's song, Changes in Latitudes. I'm saying, well, you know, he sings a song, changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes. Why does he sing that song? And I'm starting to get a lot more people just looking at me like, who's Jimmy Buffett? Holy cow. And then I have to explain that he's a singer, and it doesn't work anymore. So I need a better cultural reference that they know. You know, he gets happier as he goes south. He's cold, he's in the north, he changes the latitude, he changes his attitude. That's what I'm trying to get at. But if you have to explain it that much, maybe your cultural reference is not working. maybe it is not working. One kid said, I said, you don't know Jimmy Buffett? And he looks at me and goes, well, I know Margaritaville. I'm like, yeah, the song? He's like, no, the restaurant down on the beach. I'm like, that's his restaurant. Which is an incredibly average restaurant. I mean, it is. You're on the beach, you're at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, and then you get like average food. I don't know what I expected though. It's a beach joint, so. I don't know, it just feels like a slightly better TGIF on the beach with about 3 times the prices. That I told you I'm an older, grumpier version of your standard YouTube and Twitch streamer. Okay. Where were we? The Swedish 4. We're going to get crew members. We can get 4 of them. A little bit confusing. Mission 1. I'm assuming that is number 1 in Swedish. And tva, va, sva, va. Am I close? And tre. Tre. I got that. That's 3. That's the same. That's the same word for multiple languages. So 1, 2, 3. Times 2 experience. Top 10 XP. And you can do once per day. All right, this is that annoying, from what I can understand here, this is that annoying thing where you've got to do a mission to trip the rest of the missions in sequence. Why it just can't start on the first time you play a tank, I don't know. So you're going to play, I believe, a game. Mission number 1, you're going to be in the top 10 experience. Hopefully, that would be a bummer if you weren't, because you're going to play another game if you didn't. And you don't have to win. Doesn't work in grand and random, so it does work in grand. Tier 4 and higher. You play 1 mission. Times 2 experience. And that opens up this one. I think. Because it doesn't really say that. Like, okay, yeah, well, okay, so then I go to mission 2, and oh, there it is. Never mind. You must have successfully completed mission 1. So you do 1, then you do mission number 2. And you need 15,000 experience in any number of battles. Once a day, which means you can do it 7 times. That's 15,000 experience a day. Tier 4 higher. And then at the end of it, you're going to get, where's the reward? 10,000 XP dumped on whatever tank it is that you're playing. Remember, when you finish it, you have to be in the tank you want that 10,000 to go to. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually set that up so that the reward came in and then you had the drop down thing like you did for crew or something similar? Maybe it was in your depot. I don't know. And then you could, or their tech tree perhaps. And then you could just select the tank that 10,000 went to. Wouldn't that be nice? Are you listening, Wargaming? That would be really nice. All right. So, you've done mission 1. You do mission 2, right? And then it says you can go to mission 3, right? You should go, did mission 1, you did mission 2. No, you don't. You don't. Mission 2 and 3 apparently run concurrently after you do number 1. And they're 2 different missions. And oh, by the way, mission 2 has nothing to do with the rest of the rewards. It's only mission 3. But that's fine. It's getting us stuff. Mission 3 is 30,000 damage. So what you're really tracking, if you want the female crew members, are they female or just Swedish? Force, they're just Swedish. I don't know if they're female or male. I'm assuming male. If you want the crew members, it's 30,000 damage you're worried about. Okay? So, yeah. You will track both if you want both, but this is the one, if you get enough of them done, that you will get the Swedish crew members. If you do 2 of mission tray and you get 1 can, I don't even know what Surströmming or Surströmming. Anyway, Surströmming can, which is apparently some very smelly food. I'm assuming it's fish or something rotten. Maybe it's like fish kimchi. Anyway, it's supposed to very pungent, I understand, or strong tasting. If you do that twice, you get vents. If you do it 3 times, you get rammer. If you do it 4 times, you get a vert stab. And 6 times, you get the crew members. So it's not you get a crew member here and then another one. It's an all or nothing thing. You've got to get 6 of these things, which means you have to, on 6 different days, have 30,000 damage, whatever that takes you to do. That means you probably want to lean towards the higher tiers, whatever your best average damage tank is at those tiers. If you look at my stuff at tier 8 to 10, somewhere around 2,000 to 2,800, a few outliers around the 3,000 damage per game average. And then you can just divide that into, if I say 2,000, that's 15 games. Probably a little less depending on how well I'm doing. Remember, it's top 10 experience, I believe. Yeah, so all these are top 10 experience to try to limit the bots. And then you will get the 4 crew members who are going to be assigned to the Leo. Okay. Again, it's getting ready for the mediums, but why not just let you pick a Swedish person? But anyway, it's getting ready for the Leo. All right, so that is a really long bit on that whole thing. Let's move on. Alrighty, moving on to the subjects du jour. Make sure you remember to get your wallet open and buy all those things from Wargaming. Okay, DMCA takedown. Is it DMCA or did I do that wrong? DMCA. It is DMCA. There you go. Digital Media something or other act, I guess. Basically, it's the intellectual property laws and don't steal people's stuff and sell it. And in some cases, just don't steal people's stuff and do anything with it. It kind of depends. It's a bit of a mess. Every country has a slightly different take on it. There's the international agreements too. There's a lot to it. Basically, what happened here, as you read through this, and this is on Status Report, is that Wargaming went into a place called Thingiverse, which is apparently a sharing site for 3D modelers, and did a takedown on all the content, but they did a very broad brush approach. They gave a couple terms to Thingiverse and said, you got to take down everything that talks about this or has this in the description or whatever. And it was a very wide net that was cast. It was not very focused on just their stuff. Apparently there was plenty of their stuff in there. So as far as their right to go after their intellectual property, then absolutely. It was a bit clumsily done. They have worked with people, but really a couple guys got caught up who actually were doing straight up their own work and weren't stealing 3D models from Wargaming. They got their stuff back from my understanding. Now again, this is a third-party website. I don't have any actual first-party info on it. It was discussed a little bit by some of the employees on the Discord channel, but no details, just saying, yeah, it happened and we're looking into it. I just thought it was kind of interesting and would show you guys this. It really looks like it was just slightly clumsily done, and the people are getting their stuff back or getting their stuff back. It never went away, it just got taken off the site. They still had copies of it, right? It's not like they went into their house with the stormtroopers and took all their stuff. But still, some of them, it may be a livelihood thing. Some guys are doing it for free. It just depends. It really does run the gamut there. So it is kind of an interesting thing. And that's an ongoing deal with the whole digital rights, intellectual property, and all the things that are going on with it. Wargaming does have a lot of their stuff stolen and used for various things, and people make money off of it. Even the agreement between me and them, they allow me to use certain things in there while we've got the agreement going on. But once that was gone, there were certain things, if I did it and tried to make money off it, then they'd come after me as well. So, and I, they have the right to do so. Personally, the draconian efforts that a lot of companies use to try to smash down all this thing, I think it's counterproductive to them. I really do. Clearly, you don't want wholesale copying and stealing of your ideas. That's just left for other large corporations. So I think you gain more by letting your stuff propagate a little bit, even if somebody's making a little cash on the side. That's just my opinion, right? So I'm not the one that made some big intellectual property and then having it stolen by other people. So I may change my tune if it ever came to that. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. So then we have a chat with Victor K. And he is the Wargaming CEO, right? He's the big evil corporate man. What? That's the worst picture, right? If I was given an interview, I would want to see the picture they're going to use, right? And it's always what they're trying to it's always what their spin is, right? So if you see, for a politician, if it's an article that's critical of them, they're always in some very angry or weird, doing something strange. Or if it's complimentary, it's always some, the country's flags in the background. They're staring into the distance. And this one's like, he's just, I don't know. It's a terrible picture, Victor. Sorry, dude. I would not have let him use that. But that's an aside. So what do we got? He said the German guy was. Okay, this is a translation. That was the word that I was trying to get to earlier. Translation. So take that with a grain of salt. And there's not much to it, really. Starting with patch 9.18, the game received a lot of criticism. The problem, according to Victor, was that Wargaming was a fast-growing company and employees often took care of themselves without paying proper attention to the game itself. Whoa, whoa, dude. That is unusual for a CEO to throw. That's dirty laundry. Right? That's what the old opening the kimono thing, Wow. Now there's no details there, and I don't think this is a big complete rework of the company organization. Although they did go through that a little bit in the last couple of years in various instances. But that's an interesting admission right there. And the one that I keyed in is employees often took care of themselves. Wow, man. There's so many questions begged by that, but I'll just let it go. I just thought that was an interesting comment. It came straight out of his mouth. I was going to say pie hole, but his mouth. The resolution of some issues has sometimes been delayed for too long. That's valid. Because there are a lot of people with their personal opinions. Whoa! Well, that sounds like a CEO who lost a bit of control and is in the process of cleaning house a little bit. It's a huge company, man, and it attempted to make a lot of different games, and its main core game is World of Tanks, and it lost sight of World of Tanks for a bit, and I think it started to see the negative results of that and got a bit worried because all of these extra games they started making weren't really hitting. That's not news to anyone. It's just interesting because now you're hearing a little bit, excuse me, a little bit of the background from Victor himself. No details, but just general feelings and ideas there. This is funny. Victor himself is a fan of the German tank branch, but he believes that it is much better for the game when players are satisfied with the balance of all tanks of all nations. I mean, on the face of it, it's a valid comment. It has been always the question at World of Tanks of Russian tanks are overpowered, and especially notably German tanks are underpowered. And that discussion does cover the entirety of all the nations. But it's interesting that he picked those two, and then he says, the players need to be satisfied with the balance of all tanks. Well, where are most of his players? I'm just going to leave that one with you. I'll just leave that one with you. Of course, you cannot provide all the details, but the next update after 1.5 will bring global rebalance. So they've been talking about this for a long time, and I don't know if anyone's ever put a date on it, but it sounds like, at least from what he's saying there, the next patch after 1.5 is a global rebalance. That's going to be interesting. Talks about the Leopard 1 for a radical, strong rebalance. And Victor already likes the changes to which he was devoted. So, if I'm reading between the lines, have a lot of personal opinions been replaced by one personal opinion? Maybe. Nothing special was said about the U100. The changes on Tiger 2 are extremely specific, and he hopes that these edits will work. That's what this note was up here. Very interested in the company, and it was a German guy doing the interview, and it was at TwitchCon, held in Berlin, so at TwitchCon. So, not a whole lot there. I just thought some kind of interesting behind-the-scenes things were said in that one. Interesting behind-the-scenes thing. All right, so let's get to what a lot of you are probably watching for. Here's the video. It was last week's Coffee Talk, and who won the TS5. So, I thought I'd do something a little bit different here. We're going to go through these. I've seen other YouTubers do this, so nothing. I'll steal people's stuff. It's okay. It's not intellectual property to go through videos. kind of a mail call thing here, but just going off the comments. So what do we got? Let's see. Oh, the question. So the question was, why didn't you finish the marathon? Just give me a reason, whether it's funny, real life, whatever it is, and then I'll pick one winner and I will send them a. Well, I won't, but Domo will credit their account with one TS5. All right. So what do we got? Ben says it didn't finish because a 7-month-old decided I shouldn't and started crying every time I started playing. Brother, I remember that. That's the amiable Reaper. Patrick says, give it to this guy, so to speak. Tom says, I can never watch all of these because of my delicious coffee. Actually, they're too long, but try the... But thank you for the invite. Well, you're really not going to like this one because it's going to go super long, so to speak. I get that comment quite a bit, actually. Hey, these are too long. They are long, it's true. They are long, it's true. But this is your one-stop shop for everything World of Tanks news. I cover everything here. That is my opinion. And that I want to talk about. And sometimes random tangents and coffee drinking. So get on board, Tonster. Come on, man. All right. Math BVA. I got the 60% discount this morning and jumped on the TS5. Not that I'd have wanted to gamble on the giveaway. Good, because you don't win it. Just kidding. That's rude, isn't it? That is kind of rude. Swedish Heavy changes are idiotic. Yeah, that one's strange. Your devs obviously play the game. Thanks, Wargaming. That's all right, folks. That's sarcasm, right? That's how it works, right? It looks like a compliment, but it's not. I'm trying to help you guys. You got to work on your sarcasm. Some of you got to work on your sarcasm meters. Flea says he's got gout in both hands. Dude, that must actually suck. Especially trying to work a mouse and a keyboard. All right. Chris says got to 40%, working on the 50, just getting burned out and having a bad week due to pushing to get the marathon done. Yeah, been there, man. You start. I think it starts about halfway through, and as you get to the end, when you get really near the end, then you get that burst of energy. That midpoint on these marathons can get miserable, and if you're having bad games, it just makes you want to pull your hair out. Remember, though, it's pixel tanks, fellas. It's pixel tanks. Don't get too crazy. Let's see. Latvia's got 80%, so we bought it for $15. A good deal. I think so. $15 for a tier 8 tank. You know what? They should always be $15, Wargaming. I don't know why you sell stuff for $50. It's insane. Even if you dropped it to half, you'd probably sell 3 times as many. I cannot figure out this $50 price point, but it seems to work for them. He has to work 40 hours a week to pay for a $15. That's right. Yeah, I mean, if you do the math on the hours it takes, and then divide those hours by the amount of money the thing is worth, in theory is worth, you might be surprised at what you're paying yourself for those hours of playing the game. Pennies on the dollar, or in the hour, pennies on the hour. All right, JB, the only problem I see with the T14 is a heavy tank, so it would not help much with crew training for the starting tier tanks. That's why I changed to the Ram 2. Somebody else mentioned that earlier, so I took that advice from you guys. RS says, I didn't start the TS5 because I was taking a needed break to rebuild my self-esteem before. So, Aras was a broken man and just needed to take a knee. I hear you, man. Well done. He didn't even start. He's like, I'm not even doing it. I've got to take a knee and get ready for frontline. After my week of frontline, I think I understand where you're coming from, Aras. WK says, I missed the mission because I was on holiday in Thailand and Japan. The best kind of excuse, I suppose. Hey, man, no one here is going to feel sorry for you. How was Thailand and Japan? That's a great trip, man. Depending on where you started from, a very long trip. All right. Silvertongue says, I only got to 50 and I'm fine. I had clan members that wanted to platoon in lower tiers. And over the weekend, I spent a lot of time looking for codes from TwitchCon. Oh yeah, there were quite a few actually. I wish I put some up. I think I wish I would have caught more of them. There was a bunch, and actually found around 10 that I shared with my clan. Well done. So thanks for sharing them with us. Seriously? Brother. Bruh. All right. Would have got the 80, would have bought it. All good, though. Always feels good to help others. Oh, he's that heartstring tugger guy. I like that. Good try, Silver. Good try. Let's see. Avalon says got to 30 on the marathon. Real talk. I didn't finish it because up until this weekend I had hit a very big slump in Watt and my performance while playing, so it sucked my will to live. This game, it can. Okay, folks, it's a pixel tank, so let's not get crazy, but it can suck your gaming will to live. Let's put it that way. I think that's a better way to put it. But it can. It will suck your gaming will to play. Let's call it that. Let's see. Nana got to 20% discount. Now, why? Cause and effect. Oh, this is going to be a while. Last year, that's not good. Moved to a city. Okay, yeah. Rented out our house because it wouldn't. Oh, man. That's the worst. Not being able to sell a house, moving and going to the next house, and now you're doing the two mortgage or rent or however, mortgage rent or rent mortgage, whatever. That's ugly. Following year, put up the neighbor's kids screeching. Oh, lovely. Townhouse, yeah, because you got a common wall. That's great. Oh, lovely. Renters turned out. Oh, geez. Oh, needles. Good. God, brother, that's the nightmare right there. After stressing, moved back home. Okay, good. Yeah, there you go. Well, good, dude. I'm glad you're back home. I hope you got a job. I hope you don't find any more needles, man. Jeez, that's the worst. That is the worst. All right, I like the starter pack. Why not the Ram 2? This is Matthew. This is where I took the advice for the Ram 2. That plus the one before. Better pen, double the rate of fire, bit of dispersion. It's medium. You can learn to flex. And then I started to consider that. I'm like, you know what? That's right. You're probably learning more about the game in a medium, even as a newer player. Solid trainer for learning the Tao of Guido. And then he butters me up and sold it. And I just bit out. I'm like, yes, the Tao of Guido. It's got to be the Ram 2. Nothing like a little self-esteem building, right? Ego stroking. All right. Anyway, I took that advice. Whatever the reason. John says, I had the time to grind through to stage 10. And I'm middle of the pack for killing, so I could have for killing. I've never seen it put that way. Middle of the pack for killing. The sticking points is wife aggro. Yes, my friend. Yes, wife aggro. My doors are closed when I'm recording, but I always know she's there because I see a little head and a little. Oh my God, sorry. Oh, but I love them. Job: daughters, son, sleep, eating, cleaning. What? Sleep, eating, cleaning. What? Why would you do that? Don't you have a wife? Oh, I was kidding. Oh, now everybody's in an uproar. All right. Oh yeah, your videos. Ooh yeah, so I'm not helping. I'm adding, and this one's really going to cost you because it's going quite long. Heart really isn't really in it. Also because it's a dumb, stupid, turtless sluppies. Valid, but look at my review because it's actually a pretty darn good one. And if you played Frontlines, how many of those stupid things were in there? Lots. I wonder why. Oh, that's right. It's overpowered. Be fun to have besides downside. Okay, Franklin Mitt. Oh, wait. Yes, all right. I feel you, John. I'm with you, man. All right, Pilgrim says, hope you get through the storm okay. Yeah, we're doing good. Did a lot of yard work again, but it's getting close. It's getting close. I didn't finish because I don't want it. No, seriously, I don't want it. No, stop believing. I see what you're doing there, Pilgrim. The old reverse psychology trick. Okay. Even if you give it to me, he does not want it. Well done, sir. Matthew Carver. None of the codes worked for me. Not only are large kits available for credits, consumables, equipment are on sale this weekend, so if you have the American TDs and run the 110E4 on the track missions, you can earn a lot of credits while grinding on the missions and use those free credits for stuff and things. Which codes Are you saying the codes for the missions didn't work, or the other codes? I think I dropped a few codes in there. I got a dog and a job. I got no time. Got stage 3, so I'll be buying at 30%. Fair enough. What's more? Cue up the blues riff. I have to go to the oh, this was a bummer. I had to go to the North Slope for an install. Was supposed to leave Friday. Spent half a day in the airport. Oh, that's fun. Flights canceled due to blizzard. More fun. I had to spend another half day yesterday for the same result. My choice of Team Fire was justified. He's ready to melt the snow on the North Slope. I hear you. I hear you, Captain Carberry. All right, I didn't finish it today for Deathman. I finished it yesterday, bragging. Since it started on spring break, I had some time, and I just checked. The 2 vehicles I played almost exclusively, Centurion 501 AMX CDA. I rank 3rd and 7th as of right now. Well done. Martin says, last post. Oh, did you already put one in? All right. Some retention thoughts on the 50,000 game veterans and how to engage the been there, done it all players. I think most veterans click to play. Okay. So I may become CCs. Yeah, that's true. Proposed Wargaming introduce a. Isn't that fun? Just sit there mumbling. That is quality YouTube right there, man. Quality. He proposes they introduce a special ranked role for veteran players that achieve elite status in at least one tier 10 tank within each of the main countries. That role will be listed as something along drill sergeant, training officer, special incubation platoon leader role that provides unique ratings and hopefully, yeah, that's an idea. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can do for endgame that doesn't include new modes and things like that. So yeah. Special platoons, yeah, not a bad one. YouTube is misbehaving. Team damage. Yeah, he likes the team damage. We're going to have a couple more comments about my comments on team damage here as well. The challenge value added by ensuring players are tactical and circumspect with their shots far outweighs the incredibly infrequent times it actually gets abused. I think there's a argument amongst the players about how often it happens. I happen to think it doesn't happen that often. There are other people who believe it happens quite often. I don't know what the disconnect there is, the amount people play. I think maybe there's a little bit about some people get shot more because of things they do, just to be quite honest. But there's probably a lot more than just those two things. And I won't say that either one of those is the main reason why there's the disconnect, but there certainly is, because some people believe it happens a lot and others believe it doesn't happen much at all. No team damage below tier 5. That's not a bad idea. That's actually a really good idea. Now, it doesn't help much with learning about not shooting your buddies. That would have to be well advertised, but interesting. Okay. Let's see, Paul. After about 45 games trying to advance both my light tank missions, top 3, I gave up for the sake of sanity. I was losing my mind. Remember, it's losing my gaming will to play. Losing my gaming will to play. I thought it'd be a good idea to try the marathon along with. Oh, I got replies. I was doing great until I made it to the 25-2. Since this was my first time playing TDs, it didn't take long for tilting to start. I did make it to stage 4. Thanks for the coffee talk once again. So was he doing the 184 or was he doing the actual TS mission? Not sure. Because you didn't have to use the American TDs as I recall. All right. Best Watt YouTube guy. Me. This guy. Informative. Don't take yourself too seriously. Great at the game. I'm just going to keep reading these superlatives because this is really good. And willing to show us how you feel without being preachy. It's taken over. Finally pulling my. Nice, dude. 50%. Fantastic. I tried to get to 30% and bought it. There you go. You know, everyone's got their price point. 30%, 50%. I happen to think if you can get to 60, you're really doing yourself a favor, and it's a pretty good price. And anything past that, it's a very good price. Again, though, going back, I would sell the things for 25 at tier 8, but I don't own the company, do I? If I did, it would probably not be around anymore. All right. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it. More on team damage. Additional issue. Battle Buddy. Yeah, they'd have to redo some of that stuff. Proud of the fact that I have one of the higher, but nice. I see players with twice my numbers of games at half. Yeah. Spray and pray. Yeah, I hear you, man. Let's see. Bonzi says not able to finish due to travel for work, which put me back home on Friday. He got to 40%, but the boss, also known as wife, also known as House General, also known as the War Department, put the kibosh on. I like his choice of words. Bonzi, well done. The kibosh on tanking this weekend because I was out last week and I will be out again this week. Sorry, man. Shut down. Got shut down by the wife. Happens. Happens. Let's see. Rolls. Martin's back. Martin had a lot to say, fellas. All good stuff, though. Facepalm is totally absurd in E25 or Batchat 20. Yeah, I hear you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Rolls are situational and match dependent and all the other things. Even Artie comes with different stuff. Yeah, you're right. Endless list. Okay. Let's see. Many thanks for the insightful talk. Be fun to get one. I was grinding some new lines and only working through tier 5. So while they were yielding blueprints and account towards emissions, got the 20%. But since I am back on tier 6, yeah, the lower tiers can be harder to get through those missions for sure. All right. Now this was an interesting one from Brandon here. I did want to spend a little bit of time on this. Talk about. He says he likes hardcore too. I think friendly fire is interesting. In tactical shooters like Counter-Strike, WOT is not hardcore. It's an arcade tank game with 25% RNG. There's no teamwork, communication in WOT, and 90% of friendly fire is 100%. So here's a player who believes that most of the friendly fire is intentional. I think that number is really way too high. We can argue about whether it's more of an issue or less of an issue between the two of us, but 90% is out. That's not true. That's not even close to true. But I want to talk about the hardcore thing because I understand where he's coming from on that. But when I say hardcore, what I'm talking about is mistakes matter and there's no hit point recoup. I'm not talking about it's a realistic simulator, hardcore realistic simulator, or one-shot kill kind of thing. So it's a different kind of hardcore as far as what he's talking about there. Yes, it's an arcade tank game, absolutely. It's got a lot of RNG, but when I say it's hardcore PvP, there's no respawn, there's no way to get hit points back, that kind of thing. To me, that's what makes it, in the version of hardcore I'm talking about, it's where those early mistakes matter, absolutely, and you've only got 2 to 15 minutes, depending on how long the match lasts, to sort out what you're going to do. So when you start adding things like respawns and hit point recoup and all that, which is why I was against the recharge or cooldowns for kits. I would still love to see those go away. I loved the day when you used the kit and that was it. You had to pick your point, man. Pick your point at which you use that kit and move on from there, and there's no more kit. So I liked that, and that's why, again, I like the friendly fire, because it forces you to work through that. Glad to see already nerfs coming. Wheel tanks are bad. Why can they move at all? Yeah, I've talked about this, and I actually talked about it on the stream. I am more and more coming down on the side of these things have got to be either slowed down a little bit, or they need to be slowed down when they're hit a lot more than they are, because they're running rampant. And I've talked about it, but I'm more and more convinced that the game engine and the mechanics as they're built they break down at that speed. The tier 8, 9, and 10s are just too fast for the game because the mechanics of it are breaking down at that point. Wish rain was my problem. Got almost 7 inches of snow. Oh, geez. Sorry, Howie. All right, and last one. Hoda plays on North America, and I'm not going to lie just to get the code with a cute, funny, or even sad story, but I made it 20% and was nearly finished with 30 when everything came crashing down. He knew he wasn't going to complete, so he was going to purchase at 30. Then Wargaming made him mad by deciding that all forms of payment... Oh, so he had payment issues. I have heard that multiple times, that Amazon Pay and PayPal sometimes don't play nicely with Wargaming. I've used PayPal in the past and never had a problem. And I've used credit card in the past and never had a problem. So I don't know. Sometimes it just depends. There's a lot of factors going on there. Grown kids began causing me so many problems so for our grandkids. Oh man, sorry to hear that. So he's SOL and he really wanted one. Anyway, I enjoy the videos. Don't stop. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Don't stop putting them out. They're instructional and down to earth. Cool. All right. So who won? I'm giving it to, provided he gave me his name. There we go. The Amiable Reaper, which is also a fantastic, fantastic name. Fantastic name. The 7-month-old son. I remember that. I do. So the Amiable Reaper. I will go ahead and give your name to Domo, and he should credit you with the TS5 in the near future. All right, guys. That was the mail call. I was really long. That's all I've got. I am going to head out and play a little bit more Frontlines, and then we're going to have a little Easter Sunday dinner with some friends, maybe a cocktail or two, and get on with the week. So we will see y'all later.